There is one device that sends many CW operators running for the hills, and that is a bug. No, not that kind of bug, this kind of bug. In this video, I'm going to show you that there really is nothing to fear and that the bug can be a ton of fun to use. Welcome to the House of Ham. I'm Bob WV7W, and I just got a new original Vibroplex bug. Now, this isn't a vintage bug like the one I used to have. This is a new one that is made to the same standards as the original. Now, if you want the full history on the bug or speed key, hop on over to Dave Casler's channel. He does a great job taking a trip down memory lane on the Vibroplex bug. Dave also has another great video explaining how the bug works. And I have linked to both of his videos in the description if you want to check them out. After you watch this video, of course. So why is the bug such a feared device? I think it comes down to two things. First is a misunderstanding of what the bug is and how to adjust and use it. The second, and probably more prominent, and that is out of the box, most bugs are just way too fast for most ham. The slowest you can get the dits on a stock Vibroplex bug is about 25 words per minute. I don't know about you, but I top out at about 18 words per minute on a straight key and about 25 words per minute on a paddle. So a bug that is that fast is simply untenable. But there is a solution. Enter the Varispeed. This certainly isn't the only way to slow down a bug, but it is quick and easy to install and adjust, and they're readily available. And I will do a separate video on the Varispeed soon, so stay tuned. Now, once I installed the Varispeed, I was able to get the speed down really even slower than I wanted, but I settled on about 15 words per minute, which, as I said, I find to be a comfortable speed if I'm using a straight key. So it also works well for me on the bug. For now, let me go over what a bug is and why you may want to give one a try. The bug is a mechanical key that automatically forms the dits, but you have to form the DAWs yourself. And this is actually the hardest part to learning to use a bug, particularly if you're coming from a paddle and an electronic keyer. When I first sat down to the bug, I tried to use it just like I used the paddle, and the dits flowed pretty easily, but the DAWs were just one long tone. Yeah, you actually have to hold each DAW for the right amount of time, just like you do on a straight key. Surprisingly enough, I was able to get the hang of it in less than a week. And after that week of practice, I got brave and I used it on the last two SKCC straight key month K3Y shifts I did. And I only had to switch back over to the straight key once, and that was only to slow down for one operator that needed a slower speed. I was surprised and very pleased at how well it went. Now, I certainly am no expert at it yet, but I can use and enjoy it. Another thing that can cause a real frustration is understanding how to properly adjust the bug. I was fortunate this bug, the find came out of the box, actually adjusted pretty well, at least good enough to start using it. Now, many of you either already have or have acquired a bug secondhand, and I'm willing to bet that it isn't adjusted properly. I will do a video soon on how to properly set up and adjust your bug, so stay tuned for that. If you're like me and enjoy the history and lore of Morse Code, or maybe you just simply like the simplicity of CW equipment. Now, don't get me wrong, I use paddles and electronic keyers too, but I really enjoy the straight key and now the bug. Now, I really like doing straight key Century Club or SKCC activities, and I find that after long sessions with a straight key, I feel it in my wrist. I am certain that is mostly due to technique or lack thereof, but I don't have the same issue with the bug. Now let me give you a quick demo of how the bug works and my technique for using it. Now before I get beat up in the comments that my technique is wrong, let me just say that that's just how I use it. It works for me. Now I've heard that you're supposed to roll or rock your wrist back and forth between the dits and the DAWs, and I sort of do this, but you'll probably catch me going back and forth laterally like I tend to do with the paddle. I would try both ways and see which works best for you. The one thing that tripped me up early on was I ended up with extra dips. Part of this was an adjustment thing, and the other is just the mechanical nature of the bug as opposed to the electronic keyer process. In a keyer, if I make a mistake, it's going to be I drop dips. The other issue I had to overcome was holding the DAWs long enough. Once again, coming from an iambic keyer, I got accustomed to tapping the DAW lever for one DAW. With the bug, you actually have to hold it for the full duration of each DAW, just like you do for a straight key. So this is the bug, and it's got a single lever paddle, and it's got these two little plates on there. The longer one is for your thumb, the shorter one for your index finger. The shorter one is your DAWs, and just like a straight key, as long as you hold it, it will make the sound. So you could actually use it like a straight key. I don't know if we need too many people that would, but you could. Most people are going to use a bug what it's intended for. And then the short or the longer piece here is for your thumb or for the dips. And you can hear the dips. And so those are much slower than if you did not have this vary speed on here. If you just had the weight on here, this gets a little bit more weight, gets a little further out, and gives you a little bit. I'll get into that more into the vary speed video, but you can hear that it's actually slow enough that I can do it. So to practice the bug, I use a couple techniques. One is I do the alphabet. And that's not the whole alphabet, but you get the idea. The other thing I use is the quick brown fox. So obviously not perfect. Timing and spacing can still use some work, and that's okay. It takes practice and to build this new skill, and that's part of the fun of learning to use the bug. The point here is that there is really nothing to fear about the bug. That being said, why would you want to use a bug instead of just using a paddle? The answer will be different for everyone. But for me, I like SKCC and I enjoy using the straight key. I also wanted to give the bug a second try, and I have to admit I am loving it. For the same reason many of us enjoy CW, I enjoy learning to use the bug and challenging myself to learn a new skill. If you're perfectly content staying with the paddle or straight key, do your thing. But if you've always wanted to use a bug, I'm here to tell you that you can do it. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more videos coming up on the bug. Until next time, this is WV7W73.